We finally have a cover and a blurb for the 7th book of the Strike and Ellicott series, The Running Grave. This book comes during the 10th anniversary year of the release of The Cuckoo's Calling, which means we have now been being tortured with a slow burn ship for a decade.
You're gonna suffer, but you're gonna be happy about it.
The cover shows our fearless heroes beside the seaside, beside the sea. Yes, please. I would totally read 960 pages of Cormoran and Robin having a grand time at the beach. Okay, so that all looks like a lot of fun. Let's check out the synopsis. Oh no.
Trauma. PTSD. Trauma.
This author clearly did not get my request that these two only have a funky good time from now on. The Cormoran Robin account on Instagram posted a theory about how the figures representing Strike and Ellicott on the covers have been moving together as their relationship has progressed throughout the books. This theory had me like this while I was reading it. I love it, and I'll share a link to their account below so you can follow them for more shippy goodness. As for the covers in general, I'm not a huge fan, to be honest. First off, they changed the design 3 books into a plan 10, so my shelf is out here looking all mismatched and shit. The lack of consistency is jarring, and I just know they're going to release a full box set with new designs when every book is available for like 200 quid. Which is a great way to get die-hard fans to spend more money. I honestly think whoever is doing the fan-made ones on strikefans.com is doing a better job. Sure, this new cover here might not end up fitting with the themes within the book as well as the official one, but the vibes are impeccable. If we look at the covers and titles for the other novels, the original cover for The Cuckoo's Calling is just Strike being a mysterious hottie wandering around the posh bit of London. The birds swarming overhead and the colour choices give the image an ominous tone, but without seeing the other covers or knowing anything about the series, you would be forgiven for thinking that this figure might be the killer. The new style cover adds Robin and is overall a little less ominous, and without prior knowledge, these two look more like protagonists here. Then there's this, which I think is the American cover. Call in if you know, focusing in on the Lula as a starlet in the blinding lights of the paparazzi aspect of the story, which I guess I'm going to have to track down for my collection. Oh, and there's the TV credit style covers with Tom and Holiday's beautiful faces on them, and what is this? Where did these come from? Let my wallet rest! I can't keep up. What was my point again? Oh yeah, that the covers do not really tie into what this book is about, and neither does this particular title. Cuckoo was a nickname given to the victim in this book and nothing really to do with the crime. The first Silkworm cover is Strike alone investigating in a very typical and shady looking London alley. It doesn't really have much to do with the literati world explored within the pages of the book, and the new style again adds Robin, but the vibes are still A, London, and B, mystery. The title refers to the in-novel, and prior to the release, the title itself wouldn't have given fans much in the way of a clue to the story. Career of Evil was probably the most obvious title to work out before reading the books and the synopsis, but it still could have referred to Cormoran's career fighting evil or the killer's career of killing and abusing women, and the covers are more of the same mysterious London imagery with the original Lone Strike and the new design adding Robin. The title of Lethal White let fans know that there was going to be something about horses, but there was no way to realise that it was going to be about the title of a valuable painting. The London imagery on these covers did hint to the House of Commons being involved though, and was more of a clue. With Troubled Blood, I've read the book several times, it's my favourite, and I've watched the TV show enough to wear out my iPlayer account like it was an old VHS tape, but I still couldn't 100% tell you which aspect of the story the title refers to. Maybe that's the point, or maybe I'm just a tad daft. The cover featured the clock from an in-story location and hinted at the astronomical, which is probably the most clues fans have been given in cover form overall so far. The Ink Black Heart title alone had me speculating that it would be about the world of tattoo artists or tattoo culture. Fans knew ahead of time that the story would feature Highgate Cemetery because of offer clues on Twitter. And while we're talking about Twitter, shout out to the fans who work out clues on there and share them on Instagram, Reddit and podcasts, by the way, because Twitter or X or whatever it will be called, if it even still exists by the time I finish this video, is an actual hellscape. So I'm very grateful for the fans who brave its steps and report back to those of us who are not strong enough to venture there. Going back to the covers and titles, without the synopsis text, they don't give a lot away about the stories, but they make sense if we apply Cormoran Robin's theory about the movement of the figures. Originally the covers just featured Strike being all mysterious in London to draw in the casual crime novel fans. But when they went back and redesigned the covers, they added Robin and started a whole new graphical journey throughout the series, and this itself is a clue. I've debated whether I think the overarching narrative within the series is of Cormoran and Robin's journey, becoming the people they were meant to be before others hurt them, and finding happiness with each other, or if it was all about the mystery of Lita Strike.
Both. Both is good.
But I think the book designs hint that the main journey is of Strike and Robin healing and coming together. To summarise, Corman Robin on Insta is super clever, and the book covers prove that Strike and Ellicott are going to live happily ever after. It was a bit myth the first time I saw these books referred to as the Strike Collection, because it leaves Robin out. But then I remembered that when these two are happily married, it won't matter as they'll both technically be Strikes. So we're dealing with a world of cults this time around, which I would say is actually more of a commentary on fandoms than the Ink Black Heart was.
Ooh, self-burn. Those are rare.
We're going to Norfolk, where Cormoran had some of the worst times in his childhood.
Generational trauma. 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 Rage and trauma. Rage and trauma.
We're going to be trying to save a man on behalf of his father, but are going to uncover a grander issue involving unexplained deaths. And Robin isn't going to have a great time.
Female trauma. Family trauma. 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 Trauma.
No thanks, nuh-uh. We've had enough of torturing Robin, cheers. Only nice things for my girl. This one is going to be a painful read. But I think it's also going to be a huge book for a series. Strike is going to have to confront some things about his childhood that he's always avoided. Simply by being in Norfolk, dormant memories could come back to him, and he can re-examine the facts with an adult perspective. And on the Ellicott side of things, being away from everyone undercover is going to give her time to really evaluate the important things in her life. Between the aforementioned trauma, possible flashbacks, and maybe the foreshadowed meeting with Rokeby, we're going to get some more backstory on Leda. Just some more clues and depth to the mystery. Not a 100% wrapped up solution, I don't think. I still heavily subscribe to the Robin will solve Leda's death theory. I don't think the mystery will be solved until Cormoran A. confronts his father finally, and B. learns to communicate with Robin. Jesus Christ, man, just talk to her. And when he eventually does open up to her, she's going to put all the pieces together like the crime-solving badass she is. Before Robin gets put through the ringer undercover, I think we'll see some forward progress for her personally. Robin B. Ellicott needs to get some... Yeah, dating or a relationship would be great for her personal growth or whatever, but mainly the... In all seriousness, Robin was robbed of a normal young adult development. Personally and sexually, she needs that, even if I hate the idea of watching/reading her with anyone other than Cormoran. As for Strike's personal development, therapy please sir, do not pass go, do not collect 20 Benson and Edges. Strike's track record with women is what in Scotland we would call heavy shite. He has not exactly been a fine upstanding gentleman with his choices of lovers in the past, nor has he looked after himself very well. It's indicative of the writing being so good that we still 100% like him despite this, root for him and want him to be with the most pure cinnamon roll of a character ever invented, Robin Venetia Ellicott. Corm finally hit rock bottom in the Ink Black Heart, got into a situationship with Diet Charlotte because his ego was bruised from his first ever romantic knockback. He doesn't admit it to himself, but Robin's rejection is devastating. And it takes until the very end of the book and the revelation that Robin is moving on and dating for him to come to terms with the fact that he is in fact in love with her. Strike as a character has always seemed to be pretty realistic with himself, and when he stops to examine his life, he'll see what he kind of already knows, the fact that he is just not good enough for Robin right now. Previously, we've seen him thinking about how it wouldn't work between them because of their differences, and fixated on all the ways he doesn't match up to his idea of what she would want and need. I think now he fears that the door to the possibility of something more is closing with the appearance of Murphy on the scene, that he will actually take the steps needed to make himself a better man. We already know he's going to kick the smoke in for his own health, and I predict we'll see him working on his physical fitness too because he thinks Robin would want him ripped. He's wrong, of course, she doesn't care what he looks like, but she does care about him looking after himself and being healthy. I also predict that when Cormoran realises Robin loves him for who he is as a person, I will be crying uncontrollably. Will he actually go to therapy? Well, no, I don't think he's that kind of dude, but through his new relationship with his half-sister Prudence, I think he's going to get that therapy regardless. She's going to low-key therapize him. They'll be having a casual conversation over coffee and she's going to hit him with the, "And how did that make you feel?" At this point, I've been theorising that these two idiots will be getting together, let me just check my notes here, since 2013. So I'm going to zag here and predict that they are not getting together this book. Not in some sort of reverse psychology type way, unless it works and then I'm totally taking credit for it. But because I've resigned myself to the idea that the 10-book arc is the story of these two getting together. I'm hopeful that the 10th book is where they get married and live happily ever after, and that we'll at least get to see some of them together on page and screen. Some kissing would be nice. No, not like that. Here's a reminder of how good the actors playing Strike and Robin are, as Snoggins says, just for scientific research purposes. But there's got to be some forward progress for these two of this novel, right? They've both admitted to themselves that they're in love with each other. It's not like there are any sort of in-universe rules or regulations keeping them apart, like another shipment broke my heart. At this point, it's been 5 years since they met. There's slow burns, and then there's whatever's going on here. If there's no movement on the relationship front, then it's gonna start feeling a little bit unrealistic. And I might actually die. Speaking of death, I saw some speculation online that there might not be a murder in this murder mystery book. We're just gonna leave that sentence to stand for itself there and move on. I'm sorry, but this man is brown bread. He had a heart attack in the last novel and it was like barely mentioned. This was one of my issues with reading Blackheart. That and the chat transcripts hurting my neurospicy brain. We just sort of glossed over Robin's dad having a heart stent fitted in like a chapter. I just don't see him making it past this book.
This is what trauma looks like.
I don't think we'll get the Rokeby meetup / confrontation this book. I think Strike will come round to the idea a bit more via Prudence, setting us up to receive more backstory about Leda and Book 8. I'm very curious about the Norfolk setting. Are we going to get a mainly out of London story this time around? London is the third most important character of these novels, after Robin and Pat. I'm just kidding. Strike is obviously the joint first most important. But only just. Wait, there are crimes in these books? Just kidding. I am vaguely aware that this is a crime series. I just simply don't care. Anyway, to wrap it up, here's my list of what I think will, might, should happen in this book. But those are just my predictions. Please share yours with me in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.